Toronto father is sharing his story tonight about the importance of talking to your kids about online activities. Cliff Ford discovered his 12-year-old daughter was chatting with someone who wasn't who he said he was. As Trevor Dunn reports, the father got directly involved, which eventually landed a predator behind bars.
It was innocent at first.
Cliff Ford's 12-year-old daughter thought she was chatting with someone her age, but behind the playful conversation was 30-year-old Nicholas Bowers. Ford found out because he links his kid's email to his phone and monitors their online activity closely. Last January, something caught his eye.
I saw a message come through that said, "Hey, sexy," and I realized it was coming from somebody directly to my daughter.
Instead of cutting the conversation off, he kept it going. Posing as his daughter for the next 3 days, Ford got Bowers to tell him his real name, what kind of car he drives, and his address outside of Akron, Ohio. All the while, Bowers' messages became more sexual. "I want to kiss you and hold you," he wrote. "It turns me on, knowing you are 12. Then he sent an attachment intended for Ford's 12-year-old daughter. It was a video of Bowers masturbating.
When he sent the attachment, I opened it up and I realized what it was. I had to shut it off right away because I could feel my blood boiling inside me at knowing what this guy's intentions were.
Ford turned over what he had to police in Ohio. They worked with Toronto police, learned there were other victims, and that Bowers was behind an online child pornography ring. He was arrested within days and recently sentenced to more than 20 years in jail. Ford's tactics are being praised by police. They say the information he handed over to them proved just how serious of a threat Bowers was and led to his quick arrest. Trevor Dunn, CBC News, Toronto.
In Mexico, protesters took to the streets following news of police identifying the charred remains of a student. The student is one of 43 who vanished in September. Officials believe the group was massacred and their bodies burned after police allegedly handed them over to a drug gang. A powerful typhoon has millions of residents in the Philippines' capital on alert tonight. Hagupit is moving towards Manila after killing at least 3 people in the country's east. The low death toll is attributed to more than 1 million people seeking safe shelter before the storm hit. Canada's Minister of Defence is headed to Ukraine. Tomorrow, Rob Nicholson will express Canada's commitment to that country as it deals with Russian aggression. Canada has previously donated non-lethal equipment and gear to support Ukraine's forces. Will and Kate are back in North America tonight, not in Canada, but in New York. The royal couple's first ever visit there. Stephen D'Souza has more on the whistle-stop tour.
Not quite the invasion of the Beatles in the 60s, but the screams still pretty loud. As the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge arrived in New York City. A brush with royalty, the reward for fans who lined up for hours in front of the Carlisle Hotel. Colleen Green and her daughter drove 3,500 kilometers from Idaho to be here.
To me, it's just a historical moment.
Diana wowed New Yorkers at the same hotel in the 80s.
I'm a big fan.
Now it's Kate's turn to take New York.
Princess Kate is just beautiful and stylish and classic.
The 3-day visit includes some glitzy fundraisers, but it's not all about the glamour, as a royal couple looks to highlight some important causes. What are you building?
A castle.
Who are you building the castle for?
The princess.
Tomorrow the Duchess will visit this school in Harlem. The programs here help students overcome poverty, discrimination, and mental health challenges, all issues close to the Duchess's heart. And those here hope the royal spotlight will help their cause.
These are not children and families to throw away. These are children and families who become productive citizens.
The royal couple will also visit the 9/11 Memorial and attend the fundraising gala hosted by Tom Hanks. They may even rub shoulders with New York music royalty, Jay-Z and Beyonce, when the Duke and Duchess take in a basketball game tomorrow night. It's a whirlwind tour, and one people here know will be talked about for years to come. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
Along with fame, there often comes money. Next up, David Common examines the value of the royal brand and just how much it grew when Prince George arrived. Churchgoers blocked traffic in Chicago today, and more pro athletes warmed up in shirts that read, "I can't breathe." All because police haven't faced trial after killing unarmed black men. Our Sunday panel will tackle the latest wrinkle, white people confessing the crimes they get away with. And taking potshots at CBC News, we look back on 22 seasons of satire. Coming up on The National.